Yamada is quickly moving up into one of my favorite series to watch on a Sunday morning, or just watch in general from this anime season. I'm loving the body switching. I'm just loving the body swapping, body switching. It's something I don't see normally, and there's not a lot of anime that really tend to do this type of feeling. I mean, there is and isn't. Just, there hasn't been in recent days and recent seasons of anime seasons. And so I'm glad to see how Yamada is kind of like a body swapping anime. It's something I haven't seen for quite a while, and it's just enjoyable to watch and get to see the comedy and how funny it is when characters are kissing and trying to switch bodies. It's funny, like especially the ending sequence of this episode when you saw all the characters just, oh my god, they were in every single body but their own. Like, they were switching back and forth. You saw a Yuri kiss, Yaoi kiss, but you saw all sorts of kisses going on. It was crazy getting to see how they were switching bodies, and this is quickly moving up into a very good series, in my opinion, just because of how the introduction and the setting of this is, because it just feels very fresh after dealing with constant either moe series, slice of life series, or rom-coms, or series that are kind of just focused on action. It's really nice to see a series like Yamada that tries to do something a little bit different than the previous seasons of anime. Now, one thing I want to point out when it came to this episode is that I'm loving the animation. Like, you would think this series, since it's kind of like a comedy based with some romance, I'm assuming there's going to be romance, but with this series to have some romance and, you know, comedy and some slice of life elements and magical elements, I expected it not to have the best of budget, especially for this type of series, but the budget of Yamada is beating a lot of anime from the season, mainly Recon or Denpa. I mean, you have it to where this series is beating those budgets and just crushing them. It's like, this series has a wonderful budget. The art and animation looks really nice. I like the backgrounds look nice, and all the character designs look pretty fucking awesome. I like it. Speaking of character designs, I looked at the first chapter of Yamada because I've been told that Yamada is like a 150 plus chapter series. It's still ongoing, and the chapters get translated weekly. And if that is true, what happens? Like, I mean, looking at the opening song of this series, you see how our main male character, Yamada, he has a witch hat, or a wizard hat on, and I'm assuming he learns how to do magic. So, is like some form of magical school or something going to be introduced? Because, I mean, you see a wizard hat on him, and I mean, the series is called, like, Yamada and the Seven Witches, if I'm correct. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong, but that's what the title, or something very similar to the title of this series is, and if that is true, so we're going to probably see a lot more magic besides body swapping. Like, the main things that we might see go on later on is that our main male character and other characters might be learning different types of magic. Maybe, you know, freezing people, I don't know, casting fire. I'm just, you know, pointing out random magic. So it'd be really cool if we get more magic elements introduced into the series, since we do see how he has like a wizard hat in the opening song. Speaking of the opening song, which I neglected to really talk about in my first impressions of Yamada, the opening song, very catchy. Very, very, very catchy opening song. Like, it's a catchy opening song. It's not the best I've heard from the season, but it's catchy. Like, I mean, if you sat down and listened to it, you would probably get it stuck in your head. You want to continue to listen to it. That's how it was for me when I watched this episode of Yamada. So, hopefully, you know, I'm not the only one that thinks the song is very catchy. Ending song's okay. Not the best. It's not the worst. It's okay. Now, what did this episode do? This episode mainly was to serve as characterization for Ito. She was getting introduced in this episode. We find out her situation, what she's going through, and this new character that's going to be joining the club and activities of the Supernatural Club. So we come to find out that this girl is kind of unpopular. Nobody believes her. Everybody thinks she lies. She's like, you know, the child that cried wolf. And she was also slightly in debt thanks to being ripped off by people, these thugs or whatever, and she got ripped off and he owed them money. Thankfully, Yamada beat the shit out of them with her body, and now they're probably not going to mess with her anymore at all. Still, this episode is just mainly to introduce her character and add another interesting twist to the body swapping theme of the series, because we already had two dudes kissing, and that was the Yaoi. Now we have two girls kissing, there's the Yuri, so we have both sides of the same coin, and now everybody can be just laughing their ass off on both different circumstances. Now, overall, though, I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm enjoying the pacing and the way the direction of the series is going. I just hope it, you know, introduces a little bit more interesting themes. I hope it doesn't add any more characters. Like, I know it's probably going to add more characters since it says the 7 witches, but I hope it doesn't add over that many characters, because I would like it if all individual characters get their own time to shine and, you know, be fleshed out and stuff like that. Because when it comes to slice of life series or series in general, when you introduce so many characters, a lot of times the characters that get introduced are shafted to the side for the main characters because they're really not that important, or they just don't get a lot of screen time or panel time. So I hope that not a lot of characters get introduced after Yamada and the 7 witches. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.